Hello, Sam here, aka Sam Says. I've been meaning to do another video for the last month or so. I'll be honest, I am an overthinker. I am full of ideas, and sometimes that is great and other times it leads me to overwhelm and then I end up doing nothing. So a bit of honesty for you there. However, I was trying to film a story just now, which is 60 seconds, right? Because I was asked a question on Instagram about my group coaching program. But I kept redoing this video because I couldn't keep it in 60 seconds. And then I thought, fuck it, I'll just do a YouTube video. This video is going to be a question about my group training program, which is the Strongest Fuck Club. However, it's a very good question about strength training and how it should be programmed for long-term results. So hopefully, whether you join my program or not, it will be of use. So I'm going to get stuck in. The question was, how long are my strength training blocks? Because I mentioned that on Monday, we are starting a new phase. So for some context, the Strongest Fuck Club is my group coaching program that is more than just a plan. This is for women who they don't necessarily have any specific lifting goals, they just want to be strong and mobile and capable and resilient at everything. So that means lifting heavy, my favourite, but it also means plyo work, explosive work. It means being mobile. It means moving in all kinds of directions. It means exploring more than just your traditional squat, bench, deadlift, old school strength sessions, so that we're not just lifting as heavy as possible every session and feeling fucked all the time. It's also perfect for women who want to perform in the gym but are also trying to balance it with life or another sport or a hobby. For example, I lift and do jiu-jitsu. So I am always wanting to maximise my performance in the gym in as little as time as possible, whilst also not taking away from my energy and also time that I want to spend on getting better at jiu-jitsu. So because a new phase is starting on Monday, I had a question from a follower. In fact, let me bring it up because can I ask how long the next block starting on Monday is, and if it is possible to adjust exercises if injured or if there is a weakness somewhere. I am working on rehabbing a hamstring and shoulder, hoping to get back to training as usual again after 3 to 6 weeks, and join your Strongest Fuck Club is high on my list. I'm going to tell you what I said and why I want to talk about strength programming as a whole and what that should look like. So I'll start with the whole injury thing. Any strength training program should be very easy to adapt when you are injured and rehabbing. So a very simple example is this one, right? If you've got a dodgy shoulder and you are rehabbing it, if you have a good rehab program, it should be strength training anyway. And so let's say in my group program there is a shoulder press variation of some kind. You would simply just swap that for whatever shoulder rehab you are doing, and or you would simply adjust the load, the rep range, because really strength training is also rehab, right? So depending on where you're at within the journey, either way it is super easy to adapt a strength program. I am also there on hand to help with that. So once I know more specifics, you just ask, and it's very, very easy to adapt. So that's the first question in terms of injury. The second, about how long the training blocks last. So the way I build out programming is I will create one solid week. So the Strongest Fuck Club is a three-day training split. I always stick to full body. Now this is a personal preference, doesn't mean that an upper-lower full body split or a upper-lower-upper split. You know, there's a few variations that you could do across 3 days, but I have always loved full body. I like the flexibility. So especially for general population, especially for those who also do other stuff, so lifting and do a sport or a hobby or just life. If you're on a 3 full body program, if you miss a day, you're not missing out on a whole, let's say like you miss lower body and then that's your only lower body session. So the rest of the week you're just doing upper body. I love full body because it is very flexible. It's also flexible for balancing with your other sport or hobby. So if you are a runner, full body is much easier to recover from, and therefore if you've got like a long run the following day, you're not going to be trying to run that off the back of a hard lower body session. And maybe we could talk about like climbers. Like if you've got an upper body strength program, an upper body split, then let's say like life happens, work gets in the way, and all of a sudden you've had to put your upper body day the day before you are climbing, it's going to mess you up a little bit and fatigue is going to be hard to recover from. So I really love a full body split. I also just like the variety of it. I like doing different things within a session. I can't really explain it, but I've just never enjoyed doing just all upper body or all lower body. Again, personal preference doesn't mean that's right or wrong. So, lots of benefits from doing a full body split. So we have 3-day full body strength sessions, and I will build that week out so that it is a well-balanced week. It might be that day 1 full body has a squat focus, so some squat variation will be the main lift, accompanied with your accessory work, some plyometrics or explosive core maybe. The second day might be a hinge variation, so that could be a deadlift or Romanian deadlift, loads of different variations that we could go into there. And then the third day might be a press variation of some kind, so if we're focusing on bench, we might be benching, or it could be that we're having a shoulder focus and we're wanting to get really good at standing overhead press. Who knows? Loads of ways we could do it. But I will build out that week, and then when the next 4 weeks come around, so we will have 4 weeks to really see what we can do within that phase. So the way I approach training is I will just focus on the 4 weeks that I have and trying to push the needle as much as I can within that. So it's like a little competition with myself. It's not about trying to smash myself up or hit loads of PBs. It's just pushing the needle from week 1 to week 4. So ideally, by week 4, you have made some form of progression from week 1. After week 4, I will make some changes, but that is not going to be a complete overhaul. That is just going to be some simple adjustments that allow you to keep pushing the needle. So with the squat, for example, maybe on this first block, we start with slightly higher reps, less load, and the priority is just to build on the skill of the squat itself. We'll just say it's a barbell back squat. And so maybe it's a 6 to 8 rep range where it's not a huge amount of load, but we're challenging ourselves and we're just focusing on getting volume in. But let's say that was the first 4 weeks. The second phase or the following phase might be that we drop the rep range and then we start to focus on a little bit more load. It might be 5 to 6 reps, it could be 3 to 5. There is no right or wrong, but what we are trying to do is progress from the previous phase. So that's a nice way to look at it. This will also go into accessory work. So I'm not going to completely change everything, but let's say there is a hinge variation in that day. It might be a Romanian deadlift. We might just change the variation. So it's still a Romanian deadlift, but maybe we're going to do a B stance or a split stance variation. It might be a single leg variation. But the point is you shouldn't be looking at your program and thinking everything's changed and I'm essentially just starting a new program. And you might get away with that if you're an absolute noob, because at that point it doesn't really matter as long as you just keep trying to show up. Just being consistent will work. But when you've been lifting for a while, if your program is changing completely every 4 weeks, every 8 weeks, or even if you follow a 12-week program and then completely change up, maybe you just try another 12-week program, you're going to struggle to see progress, because the longer you've been lifting, the harder it is to see progression. And so you need to be sticking at stuff for longer. The way I program is almost never ending. It's just gradual progressions. We put phases in there because people get bored. It's nice to have a little goal within your phases. So if I just told you, I'm just going to keep programming a good strength program that is well balanced and just allows you to keep getting better at everything, but you might get a little bit bored of that. So within a training block, instead of me just saying, yeah, we're just going to get good at everything, I might have a specific focus, like, all right, let's focus on squats, because everyone seems to hate squats, and no matter how long you've been doing them for, you still don't feel comfortable. So I'm going to put a squat phase in. That's going to mean we're squatting twice in a week. It doesn't necessarily mean we're just doing squats. We're still going to have a well-balanced program that tackles all the main movement patterns, directions, but we are going to prioritize squatting. So yeah, every 4 weeks you shouldn't be seeing a complete overhaul of your program. There should be small gradual changes that allow you to keep progressing. And also, we might want to see those changes because you get a bit bored doing the same thing. Some people love staying on a program for longer. You can stay on a program for as long as you want if you're still seeing progress, but it's nice to have a bit of change just to mix it up. Those changes might look like more range of motion. It might be same movement pattern but a different variation. It might be more reps. It might be more sets. It might be less reps, more sets. There could be pauses added in, 1 1/4 reps. There could be all kinds of ways. Margot. She moved. So there's loads of ways to adjust a program so that you can keep progressing. But yeah, there shouldn't be a complete overhaul, that's for sure. Now, I'm not going to claim that I have the best programming in the world, because quite simply, it's just good programming. So to summarize my little ramble, if you're considering joining the Strong as Fuck Club, I'm obviously gonna highlight better times to join. But in theory, you can join any time and it really doesn't matter. The way I see it, strength training for me and for all my clients is a forever thing. There is no end point. So my program is developed in a way where we're just going to keep going. And if you want, you can stay until we're all old. And that's why I built the Strong as Fuck Club, because I want it to be a kind of forever home. Don't expect you to stay forever, but a long-term solution to strength training, which is what a lot of women who have been lifting for a while are missing. So thanks for listening. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments below. A reminder that you can join the Strong as Fuck Club anytime. Of course, if you want to ask where we're at in a certain phase, then feel free, but otherwise, yeah, I would love to see you there.